Welcome to a day in the life at Verve for Human Resources. In this brief demonstration, we'll see how Verve applies the latest technology for portal and social interaction to increase engagement for its prospective employees, its onboarded employees, and then as well we'll look at the role of manager and senior executives as they're watching what's coming over the horizon through analytics. Let's get started. In this story, we're going to take a look at how Verve goes about recruiting Stefan Schultz. Verve recognizes the value of good people to generate differentiation in their business. They've been very aggressive about courting them in the social networks, which is essentially where the best and brightest live these days. In this story, we see Stefan is using Facebook to communicate with his friends in a very efficient way, and there he's able to share maybe his concerns about his current employment. As he shares his concern about work, one of his colleagues suggests that he should look at Verve. And Verve Power, a manufacturer of electronics equipment, has been very aggressive in making sure they put the content out and leveraging things like company sites within the various media. So we do in fact have presence with Verve at Facebook as well as in LinkedIn. And that's good as far as getting the brand out, but it's not good for controlling and managing the relationship. In these social nets, everyone is just a click away from your competitor. So very quickly, we hope to get them out of the social net over to our walled garden environment, our career site within our enterprise portal. And so as he lands on the Verve career site, he's presented an image that's well aligned with what Verve is trying to attract, in this case adventurous folks who are willing to take risk. And this appeals to him, as does the obvious sort of high-res social sort of interaction patterns that he sees over on the left, things like forums, career communities, etc. He's inclined to register with the site using his, in this case, Facebook credentials. Always a good thing to use your credentials in this manner and for your firm to accept his open ID. A tremendous amount of information in this registration that can now be used, number one, to personalize the site, but as well, as you see here, it's brought up for Stefan, tailoring the site according to his needs and preferences, as well as picking up a lot of information about his relationships and other preferences and dimensions of him that would be useful to further the relationship. So that information goes into the HR CRM system for future. As he looks through the different options that he could interact with, probably the most compelling is, let's take the quiz, which is going to discern, do we fit the culture of Verve or not. And so this quiz actually is an example of what could be composed for any firm based on their profile. We'll work with the firm to come up with 10 questions or so that, well, they might seem a little orthogonal to the recruit. They're in fact behind the scenes tested with behavioral science to find exactly the right candidates. And so by screening the applicants and getting the best and brightest, as we see here, Stefan fits that mold, we're able to focus our recruiting resources on the best and brightest out of that total population. Tremendous reduction in expense and cost, but more importantly, getting the right resources over the right people faster to ensure that they get hired. So from now that he's a recognized candidate, we present him positions. He might be wide aperture, want to see the whole realm of possibilities. So of course our website gives him the ability to recognize our global capability, as well as to see across all the different geographies. And being a young mid 20s kind of individual, he's obviously flexible to move around, so that's a good thing. So he's getting very interested in these different jobs, but maybe he has questions about how does he get to learn more about Verve. So he's in asking this question, maybe replying to garner. And as he's interacting here in this venue, an alert has been sent to the human resources team letting them know that they have a high potential candidate online. So the HR team may have, in this case, a director from Germany, able to reach in, have a discussion with him. Maybe in this case he's already expressed interest in the positions there, and so she makes him aware that in fact there in Germany there is a high touch event called Vibe that they put on in Dusseldorf once a year, and she's giving him in this case the link to that so that he can check it out, and in this case of course he's interested, he'll register. So we went from a client who, or a prospect who was unknown, to one who was registered and quite well known based on OpenID. Individuals surfed the site, got to know people, interacted with other people. That's obviously very engaging, increases the likelihood that they'll come through, and in fact is signed up to attend a high-touch event. Now they can further pursue our media gallery, looking at videos here, but most importantly with this site what we're trying to do is establish a persistent relationship, and we realized folks may not make the decision on the first visit. And so now that he's part of our onboarding community, we're giving him the opportunity to join an extended community of potential hires in the network, and then we're able to present to him content on an ongoing basis. So his return visits, he'd come to this community page where we could continue our relationships. Here you see Lucille has posted something for him. As in all of the portal, our framework, IBM's framework, is the social artifacts essentially follow the person around, all the tools you use to communicate daily. If you wish, these artifacts are made visible to people in one click. They're able to track your work, see who you are, get to know you better. Obviously, in addition, they can chat. So that's a quick overview of how engaging this combined content portal, no wait, high rich media content, no wait, it's social, it's a persistent workspace, brings people into the firm. Obviously once they're in the firm, making sure they have all the right tools to be productive is a good thing. So here we drop in after he's on board just to highlight what a typical enterprise portal might look like for someone onboarding. Again, we see that activity stream. Maybe it's now a little more ornate because we know more about him. He has more relationships. People in his network are active. We can see them over here as well. Since we now know who he is, what job he has, we're able to push other communities toward him that might be relevant for his interests. As he's onboarding, he may want to, obviously one of the first things we'll do is try to educate him, take him through a learning library. In this case, his coursework, he's already been through some assessments. We've discerned what he needs. And so we're showing him different options. In this case, he's got 3 work streams he's got to complete for training. And we're also making evident some new, exciting new capability in distance learning. This capability not only to share messages in terse video segments, but as well to make the video segments accessible to people in a parallel way. So these bars down below indicate spots where people are commenting in parallel to watching the video. And then as the video is rolling, the different dialogues can come up on the right, and people can either like, dislike, add comment, and so you're getting this kind of rolling feedback on the content that essentially is providing continuous improvement to the training. So that's essentially new edge kind of stuff that we're placing on top of maybe traditional content and training material. In that space as well, we'll have a lot of access to the social nets, and the communities will be presented as well. And these are evident throughout the journey. Here we see in the perform space, obviously access to the team, access to key metrics, and then as he moves into his metrics, you see the concept of a converged dashboard where all the different key things he's being measured on are made visible to him. Some of the newer social recognition capabilities are also visible here, the concepts around badging. So as he starts interacting more and his interaction patterns are generating value, that's visible to the system analytics, and we're able to either push badges to him based on his activity, or as well individuals can give personal recognition, which is always a great thing when you're trying to build trust across your team and engender goodwill and strong teamwork. So that's a couple of samples of what onboarding is like. Obviously, our goal there, get people up to speed quickly, but you can see by exposing the social aspects how easy it would be to start introducing mentors and building mentoring relationships to draw people not only into competency but also into relatedness with their peers and colleagues. So obviously, we're getting people in, better people in faster. There's tremendous return on investment. We're calling the best and brightest. We're reducing our management expenses over the recruiting pipeline. And then when people are coming on board faster, obviously we're not burning hours as they traipse around trying to learn systems. Everything in this environment is pulled to them according to their role and according to their interests and job description. And most importantly, they're surrounded by experts who are relevant for their needs.